Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Education Exchange. My name is Killian Davies, video production specialist at the Tolleson Union High School District. And today we are on the Westview campus in front of the Marine Corps JROTC firing range. And I'm here with a few cadets from the program, actually. Love to have them introduce themselves, starting with the gentleman to my right.
Hello, I'm Cadet Sergeant Webb.
Hello, I'm Cadet Corporal Morales.
Hello, I'm Cadet Private First Class Moreno.
Well, thank you all so much for being here with me today. We're very excited. As someone who grew up in a military household with a retired Marine now, I am getting a little nostalgic seeing the the uniforms and everything, and it's just really awesome to see what I hear is a really strong program here at Westview. I'd love to hear just kind of what interested you three into joining the MCJROTC program at Westview.
Well, at first, I really thought it was not a really well program for me at the very beginning during my freshman year. But as further as I went, it started to become a program where I wanted to dedicate myself into because of everybody around me that was really nice. And it also established discipline upon myself.
I've had family in the past join the program at other schools, and I've heard and seen a lot about JROTC, and my brother did it before I came here, and I was, I just thought it was cool and interesting. I wanted to join.
I kind of joined because I wanted to sit out on PE, but then I kind of realized that it was really fun, and then I got to meet a bunch of new friends, and then they started teaching us about leadership and just all the fun things that come with it.
That's incredible. Now, did any of you have prior military family members that encouraged you when you talked about it, or are you sort of a first generation in trying a military career, even if it's in a high school level right now? Do you have? Was there anyone that influenced you in that way?
So my dad is a veteran actually, and he did always persuade me to join the MCRGC even before high school. I was a little hesitant, of course, because I didn't know what it offered. But now that I did it, I don't regret it at all. He was right. It was really fun.
I'm glad to hear that.
I have a lot of family who's done, like, who served in different branches and served in the military before, and they were all really happy when I said that I joined the program. But I think I was more influenced by my brother.
No, I kind of started it just because like same thing I said. I joined because of PE, but nobody ever encouraged me to join like the military or RTC or anything. So I'm kind of like first generation and kind of want to see if I can influence some of my younger siblings, my younger cousins, or other family members.
I know our audio listeners can't see what the uniforms you guys are wearing, but we actually have three different uniforms on. So for our video watchers, let's break down what exactly we see here. We'll start with the private at the far end. What uniform are you currently dressed
So
in?
I am wearing the dress blues for color guard. It's mostly used for color guard, but sometimes we'll use it for special occasions and more, etc.
I'm wearing the service blue Charlies, and we only really hand these out to staff or really higher position ranks.
And I am wearing the utility uniform. The utility uniform is basically the uniform that you wear every Wednesday for inspection. It is expected to be groomed, well propered, and yeah, that's it.
Is the MCJROTC program something that once you go home from school, it's you put it away, or is it something that you find yourselves continuing to work on, whether it's exercise routines or maintenance of uniforms, equipment? Is it something that goes beyond the final bell ringing at school?
It all depends because you're supposed to wear it every Wednesday, but there are special events that MCRGC also establishes. So they want you to wear a certain type of uniform that either be PT uniform, which is more like a physical outfit, more than this or the uniform I'm wearing. But basically, it really just depends on what events that MCRGC is offering.
What sort of a let's start corporal. What sort of events does the MCJROTC program involve outside of school? Actually, before I even ask that, before we get into, let me reset that. Corporal, what sort of events and activities do you participate in when you are here in the program?
Here right now, I'm the color guard commander, so I go to a lot of the color guard events that we have either here during school, or we'll go out to different schools, or like I know we performed at the Cardinals game earlier this year and Monster Jam too. So I get to go out and go perform at those events as well. I'm not doing it this year, but last year I participated in the Raiders, our Raiders program that we have.
Oh, very cool.
He could tell you more about that.
Oh, Sergeant Webb, yeah, go please.
So Raiders is basically a more extent of PT. We do extensive exercises, especially during after school. It's from 2 to 3, and then during that hour we do workouts that basically work out with our core, our body, that also establishing leadership. We also let the other cadets lead our extensive PT, depending what plan they're doing. We also moderate that as well. So
Very cool. I know you were talking about color guard events. Those are things like you talked about the Raiders event. I'm sure it's things like football when everyone sees you stand in for the national anthem, things of that nature. So you're the commander in charge of events like that. Very cool. Now, when you're within like in the military and like when you join the Marines post graduation, post college, however you want it, post high school, everyone gets a different occupation. Is there jobs within the program that you can prefer, like color guard or anything else, or is it everyone kind of experiences the full wheelhouse within the program?
it's basically very optional. We don't force people to do it, but it's highly recommended if you want to have a memorable year during your during RTC. I highly recommend for any future cadets to start participating in color guard or raiders, because I deeply regret that during my freshman year, since I didn't participate in any out school events that RTC provides that no other program could provide for them.
Okay, Private. What were some of the uh, other options that were presented aside from color guard?
Um, Raiders. Oh, there's not really. Well, there's a lot, but I haven't really like joined either.
Oh yeah, please, Sergeant.
It would be orientation meets. Orientation meet is basically where you're out in a scavenger hunt, but you're you're stuck out of nowhere. You have a map, and then you got to work with your team to navigate to those coordinates on the map. And there's another one that
Drill. We
drill.
also have drill where we do where we get together and we'll have a squad of 9 and we'll go. Last year we went to Yuma to go compete and we'll go to do like a whole drill card and like do our best that we can.
Okay. Now, how much of the program do you think, and I'll be sure to ask the captain after this because we're going to be interviewing Captain Cardoza after this segment here, but how much do you feel the program is of activities and participation in physical exercise or events, and how much of it is classroom, if there is any? Like, what's the lecture like for the MCJROTC program?
We don't really work out like as much as you think we would. We
Mm,
only work out once a week and that's
okay.
just Mondays. For class, we sit in and do like slideshows and take notes Thursdays and Fridays every week.
MCJROTC is also student led. The environment on MCJROTC really depends on the leaders. So we have platoon sergeants and platoon commanders, and I am a platoon sergeant. So my goal is to basically get everything in check and what my platoon commander expects me to, while still keeping up the morale of the cadets inside of my program, inside of the program.
I'm excited to pick the brain of your platoon commander. We'll be talking with them as well, along with the Captain Cardoza. Um, Private, in regards to like sort of the lectures that you guys receive, is it history of the Marine Corps? Is it current drills and principles that are being applied in the Corps today? What sort of things do you learn in the lecture?
We kind of learn a little bit of everything. Like right now, we were learning like he gave us a homework packet, and basically what it was, it's like the questions were like, how can you improve? It's just like self discipline kind of on the
Okay,
packet, and then it just like it like helps like build your mindset, and it's like self discipline basically.
that leads
That's
is a great lead into what I was going to ask next for the three of you. But I'd love to
no,
start
no,
with you
no.
since you were the one that brought it up. Is
Um,
what have you felt that you've learned and developed in this? I know you're very new, Private. This is your freshman, it's your first year in it. But what, I guess, to tailor it a little bit to you, what do you expect to learn in this program? And then we'll alter it a little bit for the corporal and sergeant. But yeah, what do you expect to learn, Private?
I expect to learn about like mm, leadership, um, like our core values are honor, courage, and commitment. So I want to learn more about like courage, commitment, and just like yeah.
Okay, corporal, what sort of things are you taking away from the program and that you maybe didn't have experience or skills in prior to?
I think the one thing that I'm really taking away from this program is like setting an example. Cause before I wasn't really I wasn't really setting any example. I was just doing my own thing, following along with others. I think that I'm really getting out now since I've joined the program and putting myself in like positions that usually won't be comfortable with just to get out there.
It's incredible. Glad to hear that there's that kind of improvement happening. Sergeant, what about you?
And for me, I believe that one of our important leadership traits that we condone, well, I condone for myself, is know yourself and seek self improvement. Because I believe if you don't know yourself, how are you able to seek that improvement that others are expecting you to do? And as a leader, I was put into that position. And if I couldn't condone that, then I wouldn't have fit into leadership now that I'm here.
Love to hear it. Are any of you looking to take this further post graduation of high school, or is this like just this is a good experience that I'm going to be able to take those leadership and discipline skills into a different industry?
I think I'm going to enlist when after I graduate. I know my mom doesn't want me to, and I hope she's not watching this. But I plan to. I want to enlist after just for because I know that they offer. There's a lot of scholarships offered through the program,
Yes, there are.
and I want to go to school without having to worry about nothing. And I think I'm gonna enlist because of that reason.
And as for me, I'm actually already enlisting. I'm already talking with my recruiter, and we're just seeing where to do after I graduate. But I do hope that I'm able to condone all the things I've learned from JRTC and put it into my career.
Congratulations, Sergeant. Any specific occupation in the Marines that you want to join? I'm assuming Marines from caring for MC, or are you going over to a different branch?
Different branch. My
Oh
parents
my
do. My
gosh.
parents. Hold up. My parents do not want me to join the Marines. That wasn't my. It was either Army or an Air Force.
So who did you end up selecting with?
Army.
Okay. Congratulations, nonetheless.
Yes.
Even though we jest about it, it's still a great honor for it. What occupation are you looking to pursue?
It's mostly in the educational field. I haven't thought about that too far since my recruiter is still, trying to get me into what I want to do. But right now, I'm mostly trying to put myself into the educational field for the
Okay.
Army.
All right. Private first class, is there? I know it's very, very early, very young for you, but are you just hoping to have a good experience? Did you have plans going into this? I know you said it was just to get out. It was a different PE thing, but how do you feel about that going into your future years? Would it be something you would even want to continue next year in your sophomore year?
After I like joined the ROTC, I was thinking about joining like the military and going to Air Force. But then just looking more into it, I don't think I want to enlist post graduation.
I think that's a totally acceptable answer. I think at the end of the day, the skills you learn here, regardless of what your trajectory is in life, is going to be very valuable to when you work with team members, when you're working on projects, when you're learning discipline amongst yourself, how to resolve situations, conflicts of interest. I think those are all valuable things that you can still carry forward. So wherever you end up, I think that you're going to rely a lot on this training. So I hope you at least stay through the program a couple more years
Yes.
and build those characteristics. I guess my final thing before we close out here is there any notes or things, words of recommendation or encouragement you'd want to give to anyone who might be considering joining the MCJROTC program?
I believe that people shouldn't take it the way that we are recruiting people into enlistment. As I said, our private first class, she doesn't want to enlist, and that's okay. The MCRHC's program is here to establish discipline and leadership. Those skills, you can establish that later in life, even beyond that. But no, we're not here to enlist or recruit you into the Army, Air Force, Navy, any of those. It's just basically a program to enforce discipline. And yet you can still have fun. There's a lot of things you can do for the MCJRTC that we can provide.
Excellent.
It's not that strict either. Everyone thinks that we're getting yelled at and we're getting like talked down to.
It's not like every military movie I
It's
watch.
yeah,
That's crazy.
it's not that. If anything, we get a lot of positive feedback, and we never really get we no not really we never do never get talked down to how you think we would. Everyone thinks it's all strict and that we have like no freedom within the program, but we do. It's I've had a lot of fun these past 2 years.
Glad to hear it.
Same here. I think you should enlist. I mean, join.
I love
That just contradict everything I said.
I love that. You think you should participate in the
I
in the
think you should
MCJROTC.
participate in the program because it's really fun. You get a lot of experiences, and it's really fun. It's yeah.
I think you guys are right. I think there's a stigma that's seen around it because you are learning discipline, but you have to wear uniforms for certain things. But if your time in speaking about it is learning anything, if my time that I grew up in it is that there's a lot of fun had, and at the end of the day, it's a group of people who just care about each other and are there for each other, and you're wanting to see your fellow Marine in the program just be as the best version of themselves as they can be. So thank you, all of you, for joining me on the podcast today. We're actually going to be talking to your platoon commander and your captain here in just a moment. So we will be right back talking to Captain Cardoza and the platoon commander. Welcome back to the Education Exchange MCJROTC edition. I am here now with the captain and platoon commanders for the Westview program. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Captain, go ahead and start.
I am Captain Cardoza.
Hi, I'm Cadet Sergeant Zarazua.
Welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining. We just spoke to a few of the cadets that were here in the program. I wanted to speak separately with you, Captain, and you, Platoon Commander, because I think leadership is a really important role. We heard so much about discipline and character building, and I think getting that perspective is really important. Before we dive so much in the program, I really wanted to ask you, Captain, what does it take to sort of build a program like this at a high school and recruiting and working with students?
Okay. Well, establishing a program in a high school, you have to submit an application to our headquarters, and depending on availability and whether they're opening programs or not, then you can open a program. When I got here to Westview, we already had a program established, but what it takes to recruit kids into the program stuff is just continue to ensure that the community knows. You go out there in the community and show them what we bring to the table, and also the students and the parents. All stakeholders within the community see what we do, and once you establish that reputation, uh, students will come to you and they start joining your program.
I like that. I like that you really emphasize the community that it brings to it. To get a little bit more specific here, what brought you to this program?
What brought me to this program is my intent after retirement was to teach, and I want to teach math at the high school level. I came out here in 2008 on recruiting duty. I was on recruiting duty. One of my fellow Marines, he retired and actually was the Marine instructor here at Westview High School. Upon me leaving Phoenix, I had a conversation with him, and he told me what the program was about, and that was something I really wanted to do. So I made sure that I told him, hey, when the other SMI retires, please let me know so I can apply for the job. And while I was deployed in Afghanistan, he sent me an email, told me that the colonel was going to retire, and if I was interested in the job. It didn't quite put me where I wanted to because I want to do all 20 years and retire, but there was a great opportunity, so I went ahead and interviewed actually from Afghanistan for this job, and they gave me the job. They offered me the job, so that encouraged me to go ahead and retire, come back to Phoenix, and start here at Westview.
Congratulations. I think you
Thank
said
you.
it's been about 13 years so
Yes,
far.
this is my 13th year teaching
Wow.
here. Yes.
Anytime slowing down, or are you going strong and loving seeing this program develop?
We'll see. We'll see where life takes us, But these cadets keep me young, so I'll definitely hang around for a little bit longer.
And speaking of your cadets, I know we have Platoon Commander Zarazua,
Yeah.
correct? Being a platoon commander, where does that fall in the ranking of cadets in the program?
It really just matters like on how you apply for it. If you apply for the billet, I originally was gonna apply for the billet last year, but back then like I wasn't really well informed on what a billet was. I was just like,
What is a
oh,
billet for our audience?
um, actually, I'm gonna let Captain explain that more because he knows a lot more about it than I do. So
Okay, but we're coming back to you
Yeah,
with
we're
some more
coming back.
questions.
Being that it's ran by the Marine Corps, it's a Marine Corps program, so we use military type of leadership
Mhm.
within the program. So we have a hierarchy. We have what we call a company.
Mhm.
in which it's led by a company commander. And each period, we have 4 periods. Each period is a platoon. And in each platoon, we have a platoon commander.
Mhm.
So Cadet Sarasua, she's one of our platoon commanders for one of those periods, and she's in charge of about over 30
Oh,
cadets,
wow.
in which she provides that leadership, that guidance, and she applies the things that she's learning in the classroom.
I was going to ask you that. What sort of things do you do as a platoon commander?
As a platoon commander, I really just focus on my cadets and teaching them what I've learned over my years, what my platoon commanders have taught me. Um, Basic leadership styles, like how earlier Cadet Webb was mentioning, know yourself and seek self-improvement. That's one of our leadership principles. And I really just try to use that myself because if I don't know how to improve myself, how am I gonna improve my cadets? It's really yeah, what we teach them.
And it's good insight to have with something like this. Being a platoon commander, I think I think we spoke earlier. You were a junior, currently at Westview. Is that something you've ever thought about ascertaining to or reaching to, or has it sort of been like where you started when joining the program versus where you are now? Have you been here all 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, when you started in the MCJROTC program to where you are now, what has that kind of looked like for you?
When I first joined, it was really because I heard that we would be able to shoot like our gun range and everything.
Speaking of which, is where we
Yeah.
are at this firing range here.
That's really what got me interested. I wasn't really planning on taking on any leadership positions when I first joined because when I first joined, I was like a really timid person. I was kind of shy. I wasn't really good at public speaking either, but the more I got like into the program, the more I stayed, which I'm really glad I stayed because this program taught me like a lot of leadership. It really taught me how to speak out more cuz that's a really valuable life skill that you need, speaking out, public speaking and stuff like that.
As someone who has served in the military to now serving the community in a different way for the military and for just your community in general, what's that transition like from seeing, you know, adult career getting Marines to now, high school students that are in this program? What are the differences in that? Where do you see the benefits? What do you kind of see as a leader amongst them?
Okay. Well, leading Marines is quite different than being at a school. But being at a school, the good thing is you have the parents, that you can reach out to, and there's a little bit more support, in which different people that influence these students, they can reach them when they're struggling and things like that. Whereas with Marines, they have us as their leaders, but you're not calling anyone else to help you support. You're not calling the parents. They're adults already,
Mhm.
so they're already in their career path. Whereas in high school, you're dealing with students and you're developing their leadership, their citizenship, and you're looking not necessarily for them to join the military, but just to be better community members of our society and ensure that they keep that patriotism going. You don't have to serve to be patriotic, whereas if you don't show them those share history with them and those things that we've done in the past, bringing us to the future. If we lose that, we're going to lose who we are as
Mhm.
a nation. And being a teacher, that it's way more of a responsibility because they're our future. They're the ones that are going to be taken over when we're gone.
I see. I mean, I think that's a very valid point to make. Cadet, I know we heard from your fellow members here in the program that there's a variety of events that can take place. You have, the color guard, raiders, things of that. What is there anything of a larger scale of event like go? Do you guys ever take field trips anywhere? Get to go visit anything like that? What sort of things does the program offer in that way? If there's anything like that.
I think we take trips to Luke Air Force Base to like go visit. I don't know. I know sometimes they do like expos there too, and like the captain really just takes us like in a bus full and like just takes us over there to like see and experience it. And also we take like this big trip like to Camp Navajo. I'll let Captain touch on that more.
Sure. Yeah, Captain. Any other insight you want to give to any sort of trips you guys take or experiences they get to have?
Yeah, absolutely. Cadet Sergio was talking about Luke Air Force Base.
Mhm.
We have a really good relationship with them because we're a Purple Star School
Mm.
as well, and the liaison is there, so we stay in touch, and we go to career expos there every other year when they have the air show. I try to take as many cadets because we have kind of like a day before the air show
Mhm.
to go out there and look at all the aircraft without the crowd being there.
That's so cool.
She talked about Camp Navajo every year. There's about 7 Army schools, and we go as well. We attend into leadership camp, in which we spend about 4 days at Camp Navajo, and they're exposed to the field, going out there, obstacle courses, land navigation, you name it, all kinds of military training. And we also take a trip to Yuma.
Oh, wow.
Try to go once a year, and it's a drill competition slash uh, an opportunity to interact with
Mhm.
the silent drill team
Yeah.
and the President's Own because that's where they do their spring training. So we take them out there, and the last couple of years we've been going to California, taking them to MCRD Marine Corps Recruit Depot, and then they get to talk to the drill instructors, and they give them their perspective of
Mhm.
what the recruits look like when they get there and when they graduate. They also have a museum on base, so we take them to the museum, and we take them to different historical sites in San Diego as well. So those are some of the things that we've done in the past, and we're always seeking to do other things.
That's incredible.
I don't know if Gweb mentioned it earlier, but it's when we go out into like this big landscape, like terrain, like mountains. It could be mountains, forest, desert, stuff like that. And it's really just a bunch of schools that come together, and like it's basically a friendly competition, you
This is
know?
where you have to like find your way and
Yeah,
everything.
find our
Yes,
way.
Webb did mention that. The sergeant did mention that a little bit. So where have you found yourselves at in location wise? Like, is that like you go to Flagstaff and or you go to Payson or things like, or where do you guys actually go for an event like that?
Last year we went to two orienteering meets. One of them was up by Prescott.
Okay.
It was during I think winter.
Mhm.
It was still snowing. It was like kind of fun out
Wow.
there.
Do you
Like
guys have winter gear? Do we have? We saw three
Oh yeah,
different
we do. Yeah, we
uniforms.
do.
What kind of winter gear are we
Uh,
rocking?
we have Gore-Tex. We still have those the old field jackets.
Okay,
We have gloves. We have beanies.
that's so
You,
cool.
you can provide for the cadets, and then we also have poly pros.
I love that.
We hardly ever use them, but we do
I
have
know
them.
you pulled
Yes,
those out for this event
yes,
specifically.
yes, absolutely.
When's the last time you think you've had to pull? That was last year. When's the last time you think
Uh,
before then you've had to use them?
well, we used to. We have a leadership camp that we go to in Camp Navajo
Oh, okay, okay.
by Flagstaff, and a couple of years ago, it we got snowed in,
Wow.
and those jackets came very very handy when we were out there because most of the activities we actually weren't able to do them outside because of the snow,
Mhm,
and some of these cadets had never seen snow
mhm.
before, so it was
I love that.
pretty interesting to be up there during that time frame.
That's incredible. I think that's always, one of the biggest sells when I was a Marine brat as a kid is like, everyone's like, oh, you get to see the world. And I'm like, I
Yes.
do. And sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's not. And the weather's always ever changing. I lived
Yes.
in Japan, Okinawa for a few years. And I mean, it's so humid. Typhoons hit you all the time. It's so bad that you wear glasses, they fog up the moment you walk out the door. It's like 80% humidity, just crazy. My family had a great time. But you do get to see the world and is really incredible with it. Some of the misconceptions, Captain. What are some things that you think from the outside looking in, people think of this program versus what the program is actually about?
Well, there's a lot. The biggest misconception that I see is that it's a boot camp. And I think they touched on it earlier. It's not a boot camp.
Yeah, it's not like intense
Yes,
discipline and
you
things
know,
like that we're talking about.
and many times, parents will approach me like, "Do you make them do push-ups?" And that's not a thing we do. We discipline the cadets in different ways. And it's mostly by lecturing them, counseling them, not by physically abusing them or
Mhm.
whatnot. So this is not a boot camp. That's one of the biggest misconceptions. And another one is that they have to join the military. They do not have to join the military. This is not like the ROTC at the college level. That's professional military training for students, college students that are going to go into the military.
Mhm.
For us, it has nothing to do with the military. It has to do with citizenship, leadership, developing those core values in these kids. So those are two biggest misconceptions that I've experienced while being out here.
That sounds about right. I didn't participate in the JROTC program at my school, but I had a few friends who were in it, and it was the same thing. I think I would hang out with him. It's like, man, why does he not hang out with us? Because he got to go do all this and that. I'm like, no, he's learning. He's learning character. It's a character building. It's a very intense character building because it's about being a better you, being the best version of you. Sure, the training and stuff kicks in after you graduate if you want to carry that career forward. But for now, it's more of a mentality build than anything. And I think that's an important way to look at it. Cadet, I'm assuming you're going to carry this through to your senior year, close out. Is this something that you're looking at continuing forward post-graduation?
Right now at the moment, I am thinking of continuing this post-graduation. I'm really thinking of joining the Navy.
Okay. It's kind of like it's our brother. That's that's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay.
Department of the Navy.
They got to get you there. Yeah. That's fair. I was the same way where I had thought about it and then I ended up not going that way. And I think that's also a misconception. People think that those who are involved in it, whether it's military brat or the program, that there's an expectation to do so. And I think you said it great, Captain, that there's not an expectation. It's meant to just help you find who the better version of you are, and then, as I had mentioned to the other three cadets, you can either take those forward into your career and it looks really great, or you can take that into whatever industry you're in and you're going to be able to use those for problem solving, for teamwork and things of that nature. And I think it's going to make you look exemplary as a contributing member in your communities. I think that's what it's good for. Do you have any words of wisdom or encouragement to anyone who might be interested in the program?
I feel like really just go for it. I mean, there's nothing for you to lose about it. I mean, like, I feel like you'd gain more from it than lose anything. Because in my 3 years of being in JROTC program, I've really gained a lot of friends, a lot of new people I would have really never met otherwise. So really just take a chance on it.
Love that. Captain, anything to students, parents, community members, anything that just any final words on what this program is or just what you want them to take away from this?
I just want to make sure that everyone understands that the students have been with me in the past, and whether they do 1 year, they do all 4 years, they come back and they share with me the value of the skills that we teach them. The critical skills, the leadership principles, leadership traits, all that stuff, and they take it with them, and not necessarily that they join the military. Anywhere it is that they go. So. Parents, we're not going to take them to boot camp, right? I don't have a bus parked by my office, getting ready to load it up and send them to the Yellow Footprints in MCRD San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're here to develop your kids, and we're here to help you as well. We're here to support the values and the morals that you teach them at home, and that's what we're here for. We're not here to enlist anyone.
That's awesome. Do you actually, as a follow-up, actually, real quick, do you hear back from any of your cadets that maybe have joined and keep touch with anyone like that? Do you ever get contacted?
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing. Sometimes I'll get messages from like all my prior COs all in like 1 week, especially during the Marine Corps Ball, during Christmas, during those holidays. I'm always getting messages from my former cadets, and then I do mentor a few of them. I have one that went to West Point. He's a captain actually now, and he calls me every time he gets into a pickle in regards to making decisions. So he'll call me and I'll mentor him through the process. I have another young man. He only did 3 years in the program. He didn't do all 4 years, and then he joined the Navy, and I'm also his mentor. The Navy has their own mentorship program. He asked his chief to see if I would be able to be his mentor.
That's really amazing.
I was supposed to be an active duty service member.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, they do keep in touch with me. A lot of them, get married, have kids. They send invites.
Oh, man.
So it's awesome. You stay tied to them, pretty much forever. As long as you keep that line of communication with them.
That's incredible. I'm really glad that it's been just as much of a positive experience for you as it is for these cadets. And thank you both, Captain and Platoon Commander, for joining me here today. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to this episode of the Education Exchange, where we aim to enlighten our parents and empower our students. And we will see you again next time.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of the Education Exchange. Have a question or want to be a guest on our podcast? Email podcast@tuhsd.org for more information. Missed an episode? Catch all seasons of the Education Exchange on your favorite streaming platforms or at www.tuhsd.org/podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the Education Exchange.